Alright, welcome back to part 2 of the Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance Let's Play. This time around, we actually do some fighting instead of talking to people. We'll consider part 1 sort of as a exposition dump style episode where things are explained as such. Part 2, action begins for real this time. So we got some gold from that barrel over there. You want to be smashing as many pots and things as possible, really. So you'll be getting some items, recall potions, which are extremely useful. They basically allow you to teleport back to the beginning of the area, which in this case will be the tavern, I think. But it will change for each of the 3 acts and various other locations. Basically, it's kind of like a teleport back to safety. Or if you just want to get out of the dungeon quicker. But we don't need to use them that much. So as I said, this is a hack and slash game. You basically just attack enemies by pressing the X button and sort of attacking them. You have some other skills as well, I think. Let's see. Is it circle? There we go. We also have magic. And since we are a sorceress, we will be using a lot of it as well, since it's our main strength. So as you can see, we're sort of smashing boxes, looking for loot. And you can change the camera angles. Let's see. Is it? Oh, okay. L1 brings up the map. Bring it up to the center of the screen, to the side. I'll have it on the side. Right analog stick controls the camera, so you can rotate 360 degrees. Not always, though. Some areas will restrict the camera for obvious reasons, or for whatever. But for the most part, you can pretty much just rotate the camera however you wish. As we continue to explore. What does L2 and R2 do? If I recall, L2 and R2 are basically shortcuts for the health and rejuvenation potions, respectively. They're basically like hotkeys for health and mana. Because health and mana in this game does regenerate by itself, but it's very slow. And enemies will hit for much harder than that, so obviously you will want to be... Sometimes in the middle of a battle you'll want to be recovering your health rather quickly, actually, so... Bam! There you go. As you can see, we got a rusty short sword and some gold, and got some nice water effects here. Splish, splash. As you can see, we're fighting rats at the moment. Combat in the game is kind of, sort of, well, it's in terms of like whether you hit or not. It sort of sometimes calculates like an RPG, and sometimes you can miss even when you're full-on swinging at the enemy, and sometimes they'll miss or do little damage. So it's kind of like a traditional RPG in that sense, but for the most part, if you hit an enemy with, you have to actually hit them. You can't just click or whatever over them. But for the most part, just consider this, you know, more hack and slash than actual RPG. A light RPG, if you will. As you can see, the health is slowly regenerating. Very slowly, though. And jumping does serve a purpose in this game on occasion. You can use it to dodge certain spells. Rats taking us. Let's try some magic on this one. We use our Burning Hand spell to burn the rats. Very effective. It drains our magic awfully fast though early on, since we don't have a lot of magic or any stats in particular. So we'll be mostly using our weapon until we get some better spells. And for the most part, we will be using our weapon for most of the game, really. Because even though we are magic sorcerers, there's always a time and a place to be using a melee weapon of sorts. We won't just be spamming magic all the time. It's not the most effective method, per se. Because eventually you'll run out of magic. It's always pays to have a backup. And of course you might have some enemies who are resistant to magic or whatnot. Let's pick up another chest here. Going to Cellar's tavern to look for a key. Rather, kill the rats so we can acquire said key. So the game kind of starts off slowly as you'd expect. It builds up though. It becomes rather grandiose and everything. Kind of hard to see the gold. It's not always extremely visible, so always check over things that you've smashed or open. Nice lighting effects. Use the Burning Hands here. Gonna let our mana recover a little bit. And if you can probably see the 3 bars there, you're probably wondering the green bar in the middle, for some weird weird reason, is the experience bar. When that fills up, you gain a level. Gain all your life and mana back, level up, you get to allocate some stat points. And there's only a certain amount of levels in this game, you can't level up endlessly. So you will have to think about what to spend your points on when the time comes. And that's a simple game, it's not really hard to learn. It only took me a bit of a tutorial, even less than a minute for me to go, I remember this. And there's probably about 20 hours of this game. 15 max. The one and only time where the game will generously tell you how many is left of X enemy to kill. And I think it's one of the only times also where you'll be asked to kill a certain type of enemy exclusively. So some of the rats are bigger than others. We cut them open. And it doesn't really matter what type of weapon you use. You don't level up your magic more by using magic. You don't level up your melee combat more by using melee combat. It's a very basic sort of game, you know. Not quite as stat heavy as the traditional RPG. But it works pretty well. And there's a sequel, of course, as well. Which I haven't played, which is a shame. I did like this game quite a bit back in the day. Still kind of like it today, it's pretty good. It's good for the time, especially for the effects and everything. I mean, we've got the chest there. A very tiny ruby in the middle. So with that simple progression in mind, the item progression is pretty simple. You'll just get better weapons as you visit different areas. It's a rather linear approach. You don't sort of have a few side quests you can do. Like that guy with the drinking problem. But for the most part, it's a linear progression. You go from one area to the next, slowly but surely, and every now and then you break up into a big act, and you leave the area you were in, and you move on to the next bit of the game. But it works, you know, I'm not complaining it's not open world or anything. I'm just telling you what the game's like for those who have never played it before. I strongly recommend this game, it's fun. It's not one of my all-time favourites like Dynasty Warriors 3 is. Don't worry, I will be doing Dynasty Warriors 3 for those who like that. I'm going to alternate between this and Baldur's Gate. But I know a lot more of you, I think, in general, are interested in this game a bit more than Dynasty Warriors. Could be wrong, of course, but I get the general feeling more people have looked forward to this ever since it was mentioned back in the old Let's Plays. Choose a Let's Play video from about a month ago. Looks like we're coming up to a save point up ahead. I think we should be able to clear out the entire cellar in this second part. And move on to the 2 rats left. 1 remains! Yeah, alright. I don't think we're going to leave just yet, though. We could do, to be fair, we could move on, but... Actually, we might just do that. Even though you don't have to, necessarily. You could always... Wand shield. I think we're going to have to equip that. Don't matter, we'll have to equip the short sword. It's a bit better than our sword. So you sort of equip by that. Boom. Sword. Pretty simple. A slightly better weapon. No worries. You know what? I changed my mind. I think we will go back to the tavern and hand this quest in. After we pop a quick save here, just in case. Just in case I'm ambushed on the way back by more clumsy thieves. And I'll show you the recall option. So if you pause the game and press recall, get this nice little effect, and boom, you're back. In the tavern, hopefully. Hopefully it doesn't displace us somewhere else. Nope, tavern it is. And let's talk back to the front-loaded anvils of Aleph.
You're back. Did you see Ethon down there?
You get that reference? You watched Suitepee quite a bit. Like me. I didn't see Ethon, no. Isn't he up here?
He followed you down there not long ago, and I fear he may have gotten lost in the cellar. Or worse, he may have wandered into the sewers. I tried to stop him.
How can you get lost in that cellar? It's pretty easy to navigate. Don't worry, I'll take care of it. I'll find it for you.
Thank you. But before you go, please take these coins in payment for all you've done so far. And, as promised, here's the key to the sewer gate. Be careful down there. There are bound to be worse things than sewer rats in those tunnels.
I'll be careful. Thanks, Aleph. And we've gained a whole bunch of stuff. Alright, so now it's time for us to level up. And here we go. This is the skill system of the game. So as you can see, we can't seem to actually acquire some skills yet because it's different costs. Every time you level up, you get more points to spend. So right now we can only spend 1 point, so we could get magic missile. Doesn't seem too clear. Let's see what else there is. Let's see. Health regeneration rate. That could be useful. 5+ mana permanently. Mana regeneration rate. Accuracy. Use the accuracy of my ranged attacks. I use magic. That might be useful. I think we might want to think about getting our mana and health regen rate up as soon as possible. I always like to go for these because it's a really useful way to have a lot of regen and a lot of mana. Just because I like to play extremely defensively. And since we are a sorceress, I think we'll go for meditation and try and get our mana regen up as fast as possible. So we'll spend a point on that. That way we can spam more burning hands. Now we will quickly visit the shopkeeper. No more dialogue for us. Just gonna sell a thing we don't need. You don't need rubies in this game. They're pretty much just there so you can buy stuff. We're not going to be using arrows because we are a sorceress. Everything we require is lots of mana potions and lots of health potions. So we're going to quickly go back into the cellar and catch up to Ethan and see what he's up to. And that's pretty much what you'll do. You'll get into a routine of doing this. You'll go into an area, you'll clear it out, you'll recall back. You'll sell all your junk because you can't carry much, especially not as the sorceress, as opposed to the fighter or archer who can carry a bit more because of different stats. The stats you can't affect yourself, by the way, as far as I'm aware. They basically just go up depending on what character you pick, as far as I can recall. If anyone knows otherwise, please let me know. But I think the stats just go up, or in fact just stay as they are because of what character you pick. They don't really. It's not that kind of game where you can pick what stats to focus on. So yeah, get into a routine, go into dungeon, recall, buy stuff, do quests, rinse, repeat. But it's fun, and later on you have to use a bit of brains. You can't just go around circling around things all the time and pressing X. Some things you'll have to use a bit of strategy on, a bit of cunning, guile, and so forth. So let's see what else is down here as we just pop another quick save. Good. Boom. Looks like poor old Ethan has couldn't wait 10 minutes and has come down to rescue us. The fool. He's probably got himself captured or something. Or maybe he was eaten by it. Oh god, well, that's not a rat. What are these things? Burn whatever you are. No idea. I think they're kobolds, actually. Being attacked by a couple of kobolds. Things are going to get a bit more serious than rats from now on. Time to fight some proper enemies. More organised enemies. You know what's damage, just burn them a little bit. Should be okay with our burning hand spell for a while. But we'll need to upgrade to some better stuff later. Got a rusty longsword there. Ooh, bottle.
This looks important.
Ah, that drunkard wanted some wine, didn't he? That's why sometimes I don't always go back up to the tavern straight away, because you can sort of finish this area, then go back up and finish 2 or 3 quests at the same time. But I just decided to this time for a change. Just to see if anything... Is that an item there? No, it's his mace. The thing is, the items in this game do look kind of small, so you might miss something if you're not really paying attention to the drops. They always try and fly out of barrels, so you don't usually miss them, but you'll still might just miss the odd item just because it's too small. But that's really the only grudge I got about this game. That's pretty solid. Excellent game. Water effects. Nice water effects for the time. Let's just keep on going. Keep burning these pests. I'll say one thing, the magic in this game is pretty interesting, so for a person who said that there'd be some interesting gameplay with the sorceress, you won't be disappointed. Most of my experience with this game, actually, the only character I've ever finished this game with was the archer. I have finished this game before, I pretty much know what happens. And I finished it with the archer, who's kind of like a hybrid between the fighter and the sorceress. He has magic attacks with his arrows, because that also makes him extremely arrow dependent somewhat. I don't think all his spells consume arrows though, oddly. But he also sort of uses melee a bit, like, oh, we got a ignite. See what happens here. Boom! Use that as a trap against large packs of enemies if we can bait them. Could be useful later on. Got some arrows, got a battle axe. Nothing else in here, so let's keep going. And the fighter, of course, is sort of Mr. Melee heavy. He'll carry the most, his own melee. I don't think I've even played with him. I've had a little bit of experience with the sorceress, and she does learn some cool spells later on. So yeah, definitely will be fun, and thanks to all of those who voted in the comments. I appreciate the amount of interest. This will clear some of those barrels quickly. And they will damage us if we stand too close, so we don't want to be too close to those when they blow up. All these barrels being destroyed. The tavern will have a field day cleaning up this mess afterwards, that's for sure. But it's great to see so many of you interested in voting. Hope that will happen in the future, in any future Let's Plays that I do. Whatever future games I decide to play. Who knows? We're in for a new exciting adventure either way. Or maybe a very boring one. Depends if you like the game or not. Hopefully the first part wasn't too dull for you. I didn't expect it would take that long, to be honest, to sort of get the game going, but, you know. Oh, spiders! Oh dear. Oh boy. Oh no. Ooh, these things are a little tougher. I'm gonna burn them, I think. Burn! Spiders, burn. Ow. Don't mess with these guys too much. Time to use some of that regeneration. And a good strategy for some of the bigger enemies. You can see they always sort of move around in circles, is to try and get to the side of them. Because they only attack, like, you can probably see there, and if you sort of hit them, you sort of trap them, so if you stay on the side of them, they can't really hit you. Of course, some enemies will turn faster, and some will use ranged attacks, so it's not always a good strategy, but against most enemies in this game, like, they circle around you like that, there's not much AI to speak of. Strictly speaking, most enemies do the same thing. Some do kite you, of course, and we will hate them. Yes, this game does have archers, my friends, and we are going to hate them just as much as we do in Dynasty Warriors 3. Rest assured. Ooh, Sewer level 1. Made it to the end of the tavern. Excellent. Ooh, there appears to be some kind of hidden room that I can't access right now. No, I'm to get into that room, you know. It's eluded me now. Anyway, let's go get that. Let's go quickly give that drunk his wine before we head down to deeper ventures. Unfortunately, you will have to go back down each and every time. But nevertheless, let's see what he has to offer.
Managed to find me a bottle of Aelith's best yet?
Yes, Nevish. Take this.
Hi, it'll do me well enough. Thank you, friend. Here, have a bottle from me. No idea what the thing does, but it smells awful and it doesn't seem to have the kick I was looking for.
Okay, he's getting desperate. He's trying to drink a healing potion. Shouldn't that have been more helpful, though? Mate would have healed his alcohol.
I suppose we have everything you need right here.
And sell these boots because we've got better ones. I'm gonna sell
If you need something to split someone's skull, or a
don't need arrows, they're going to be a good money maker for us.
right.
And Bartley will never ever shut up, by the way. He always talks. Gonna wear these boots. So we're getting some better gear now. And later on, other characters are going to join us in the tavern. So we'll quickly get back down there, without further ado. Yeah, and as you progress, you will get some other characters in the tavern, lamenting their woes or whatever, their losses, and you get a couple of side quests here and there, which is pretty good. The side quests don't really detract from the main story, though, as much. Not like super sweeping, expansive stuff. You can pretty much do most of them just as you're doing what you do anyway. The only thing I might say about this game is that later on it gets maybe a little bit repetitive. A bit like Dynasty Warriors in that respect, in that you will be hacking and slashing and hacking and slashing and hacking and slashing and hacking and slashing. But you know, if you liked... But you know, it's a take it or leave it kind of deal. You know, if you like hack and slash games, you'll play them, and if you don't, you don't. Simple as that. It's just a light RPG fare, but it's pretty good stuff. But looks like we'll have to go down to the sewer next time. So as I make my way back, feel free to leave any comments on how you think I've done in the on this Let's Play. I hope my commentary's been okay. I've sort of been winging it this time, as I've on several occasions. And next time we will go down into the sewers. So leave comments, praise and criticism below, and thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time for part 3.